Good evening and welcome to Follow Everton. I'm joined here with my good mate, Aussie Chris, and we're going to talk team news and have a little bit of a laugh at the Reds from Wednesday.
Indeed.
2-0.
2-0. So it just came through. So let me, I think the news came about, 30 seconds ago. So if I was multitasking there, apologies. But we do have the lineup now. Just came in. So what are your thoughts, Wes?
Yeah, obviously DCL. I mean, apparently he was not feeling too good for the derby, but played through it. Fair play to him, and he probably had the best game of his for 3 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, maybe taking out the header against Crystal Palace, but he probably played his best game on Wednesday night, didn't he? For a long while. But yeah, obviously Beto with the concussion protocols, he's unavailable. So the only option we've got is Chimiti, and I'm happy with that. He likes to put himself about a bit, but otherwise pretty much unchanged, isn't it?
Yeah. And I guess Mr. Blue Skies has the substitutions we can sneak in there as well. So as we're saying, no DCL. We also know with Beto's concussion, as Wes just said, but in addition to that, we also have no DCL. It's either illness or a tight hamstring or both. But we have Keane, Onana, Danjuma, and Gomez on the bench. We have two keepers, so we're certainly down to the wire again. What could be interesting, Wes, especially if Luton don't turn this around, we're not technically safe unless we are 10 points clear. Therefore, goal difference doesn't even matter. So, but if we draw today and they lose, we're 9 points ahead, which means in 3 matches we have to lose a whole bunch on goal difference to be relegated. So we're almost on the beach, but we can't be complacent until we get there, And every point matters on the table.
100%. They said, let's get the job done today, and then we can put our feet up for the remaining fixtures. Obviously, we want to still, get up the league, and we might finish in the top 14.
Yeah, and Richard Masters has never came up with that concept before. The intermediate clubs.
No, the intermediates. But yeah, I mean, all the results seem to be going for us at the moment. Obviously, Luton getting beat. Burnley still drawing as far as I'm aware. We can count Sheffield United out because if they lose today, they're relegated. So
yeah, well, they're losing 5-1 now, so that's over.
Yeah, so that's them out of it. They're relegated. So if we get the job done today, the ones at the wrong end of the table can fight it out between themselves, can't they?
Yeah, and I think that's all well and good. It's weird to feel that we're on the beach prior to like the last match of the season. So we're not there, as we said, and I think Dyche was right. Let them celebrate. I think the fans will be with them today. After so much frustration from months and months and months at Goodison, you've had 2 wins on the bounce. They weren't unconvincing. They were both 2-0. So I think the Everton players are quite likely to have a lot of freedom in their game today. If they play a miss pass, the crowd won't be on their back immediately due to the stress of it. So it'll be a very different feeling, hopefully freer Everton team. But I don't want free meaning we lose 4-0 because we don't take it seriously, which I doubt we will.
Yeah, they say there's definitely going to be a more relaxed atmosphere at Goodison today after the fantastic result on United just scored. That's even better.
Yep.
After the fantastic result on Wednesday night, Luton just scored 2-1.
Indeed, yep, 2-1 by Colton Morris in 80 minutes.
Yeah. So since Wednesday, being on the taxis, Reds getting in the car, and all of us out of them was you deserved it. You wanted it more, and all I've gone, I know.
It's like, they didn't blame the grass. No one
hang on,
blames
Kevin.
Salah for being mad at Klopp today. Well, they probably did, but
yeah. But then I've also had they've opened up the filing cabinet of excuses, and they've managed to dig deep into the back of the excuses filing cabinet and find that we didn't lose the league at Goodison Park. We lost it when we got beat against Crystal Palace. Oh, really?
I mean, does it matter? We beat them. We got points we needed, and we have bragging rights over the derby. Everything else doesn't really matter. It's just how you interpret it, And
They
guess
didn't.
what?
They
I'm pretty
didn't
proud.
lose the league. They didn't lose the league against getting beat against Crystal Palace. They had more than a good chance of winning that league, and we ended it.
Well, until they're mathematically eliminated, it doesn't count.
Which was today.
Was it today with that draw?
Pretty much.
So we can talk all day about the Reds, but we are a follow Everton channel. So are we thinking about today? Like, who do you think is going to be the big menace for them? I know I brought up that lineup. They brought Ivan Toney back, so they look really good up front. When we talk form, Everton have actually been in really good form, but so have Brentford. So.
Yeah, but Brentford have got really nothing to play for now. They're safe, so maybe they might sort of like take the foot off the pedal or whatever. But it's the front three is quite scary, because if they decide to start playing football, then we could struggle defensively, because as we know, we're not great with teams who play football. If they take, the last few times that they've come to Goodison, they've knocked crosses into the box, and we've defended them all day long. We've actually got a very good record against Brentford at Goodison. I think they've never won, as far as I'm aware. You might correct me on that.
So I was about to say, do you remember that there was a penalty shout 2 seasons ago where Christopher Ayer, I think, pulled DCL down in the box? It wasn't included, or it wasn't. We didn't get the penalty, and then they kicked it long, and that was when Jared Branthwaite had a straight red against Ivan Toney.
That's right, yeah.
So this will be the first time a new and improved Jared Branthwaite got his confidence, went to PSV Eindhoven, wasn't it? Came back and has had an excellent season with us, and now he gets to verse probably one of the players that gave him the most trouble prior to his loan spell. So that'll be, I think, an interesting matchup to keep an eye on. I think they beat us that day. I can't remember though. Like Wissa got a couple.
It'll certainly show us how far Branthwaite has come in regards to, if he's coming up against one of his more dangerous oppositions, then be good to see how he's learned from that.
Yeah, absolutely. Brian Mbeumo at the beginning of this season was in excellent form, and then when we played Brentford on the reverse fixture away at, what's that stadium called? Do you remember?
The
GTEC? No,
GTEC stadium. Yeah.
So we beat them away, and Mbeumo was rather quiet. Ivan Toney was still gambling away his life decisions in his suspension, and Tarkovsky scored that day, I think. So it was quite a different looking. That was the last time we were in good form. Remember, like we beat them, we beat Burnley, and then it just kind of went quiet for the winter. But they're improved. They were looking really like they could have fallen into the relegation trap with Ben Mee injured, but they've turned the ship around. Christopher Ayer playing at right back seems to have steadied them, even if he's not really a right back. So it's a bit like if you put Michael Keane or like an actual centre half on the right side. So he's not super pacey, but he is scoring goals off set plays. Pinnock got one. Janelt, I think, got one. But a lot of the goals last week were just Luton being terrible, outside of Johan Wissa and Mbeumo causing trouble.
Yeah. I say, they're dangerous. They've got pace. But it's, we should be full of confidence. Simple as that. The confidence should be oozing out of the team, and we shouldn't be fearful. Like, although realistically, it's not done and dusted. The players should be there going out there today. I'm feeling a lot more comfortable.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think Peter's point here of that Doucouré is probably the difference maker. And I would also challenge, and I know Peter's been asking this for months, seeing Yusuf Chamiti, giving him a free reign at Goodison. I'm really excited to see, other than a 1 minute, he's got energy when everyone's tired at the end of the match and he gives himself a quick yellow, but he looks like he's going to score. Yeah. See that throughout the entire match and see how he would actually play as a target man when there's something to play for. I'm really excited to see it. But to Peter's point, Doucouré is such a key cog for us. And you probably noticed that too, Wes. Last against Liverpool, he may not have scored the goals, but he was right in amongst it and in the box enough to actually cause problems. And I did a little video on that where he nearly scored from open play.
Yeah, I see the video. But but it's about time. The thing is with Doucouré is, as far as I'm aware, he's still our leading goal scorer with 6, I think. And when you get into the 35th game of the season, and your leading scorer's got six goals, that just goes to show you how much we've struggled throughout the season for actually getting goals, isn't it? So that needs to change in the summer, where we need to start finding that attacking prowess. There's strong rumours of Moyes coming back, so defensively we'll still be solid under Moyes, but hopefully he can bring the attacking. If he does come, I'm not not set in stone. Nobody's saying that Dice is going to get the bullet, but Burnley scored 1-1. But it's going to be interesting to see what Chamiti does today, because he's a big lad. He is a unit, and he does like to put himself in, and he does like to get little daft yellow cards. But I like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like it as long as it's controlled and he's not flying into challenges and he's got he's a yellow followed by a red.
I'm more worried about Ashley Young getting a red than I am Yusuf Chamiti.
Yeah, because he's going to get skinned by Mbeumo's been playing on the left, hasn't he? Well, he played on the left last week, Mbeumo, and Wissa on the right.
Oh, he did. Okay. Yeah. I thought it may have been that they might have switched throughout the match. Yeah.
But either one of them could easily skin Ashley Olds. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I think at least by recovery pace, we have that with Ben Godfrey. I did that video on his recovery tackle that saved us a goal against Liverpool, and I think, granted, he's not great going forward, but he's just excellent on recover. And he has. It's weird. We say he doesn't have footballer instincts, but sometimes he sees things before the rest of the team do. So it's very hot and cold with him. But there's a football brain in there. It's now a matter of consistency. We're talking goals though, Wes, and I brought this one up. Mope, funny enough, would be our top goal scorer with the most goal contributions if he played for Everton this season, and he did, and he didn't do anything for us, so that's even more of a damning statement.
Like I said, though, there he is. Look,
there he is.
What's happening?
Hello,
boys, girls. How the hell are you?
Robbie, have you flew like me? Have you flew abroad? Because I'm watching the Wolves and Brentford game. The Wolves and Luton game. But I got last minute.
Wesley, we are down. We are down in Cannes. I'm currently making a movie and a film. It's about the English Premier League, and it's titled "The Red Shite Lost the League at Goodison Park." We're making a movie.
But
that sounds fantastic.
I was just saying to Robster that I got a last minute flight to Australia, and I'm watching the Wolves and Luton game on Optus Sport. So just to stay legal.
The wife and I were going to a little Irish bar in a minute down here in Cannes, and he's going to put the Everton game on for us. We went in there before and had a little Guinness, and one of them was a Coventry fan, and I sort of shook his hand and I said, "Mate, you should be in the final, but because of the cartel, they fixed it." And he sent the wife and I a drink over. He thinks Ellis Sims is fantastic.
Listen, you'll say anything to get a free drink, you.
Well, that's what I will say. It is amazing when you travel, Robbie. When you I was in Barcelona for a bit, and I couldn't afford the match or go see the game because it was only like Barcelona TV where I lived. So I found the only Irish bar in town and said, "Will you have a Premier League match on?" And it was right around was it 2013, 2014 season when Naismith was on form, and we were just trying to get into the top 4 bracket, I think it was, and I was watch at the Irish bar, and it's amazing, like these little pockets when you travel and where to get a match from. And Irish bars seem to pull out of the rabbit out of the hat every time.
Yeah, the wife's gutted. She's a red, but you know what? She's made up the Everton are staying up, so it's kind of like.
You know what? Rob? No more jobs for you at home, mate.
No more jobs, mate. No more jobs. Listen, are you both well?
Oh, good, mate.
Yeah. I've just seen the team news, and you know what a great way for Chimiti to sort of go out and just play freely today.
Yeah. They said the team can play more comfortably now. You know what I mean? Like it's not it's not done and dusted by any stretch of the imagination, but the pressure just being relieved massively. Like I'll be honest with you, right? That result on Wednesday was a dagger to the heart of Luton and Forest because they never expected us to win that game in hand.
We didn't expect it, did we?
We didn't expect it, even though.
Why would we expect it?
So is DCL injured, by the way?
It seems that way.
Apparently, Dice said he played. He wasn't feeling too great in the derby, but he played through it. And like I just said, he should have been playing today because he plays all right when he's not well.
Yeah. So listen, I didn't want to spoil your stream. I just wanted to come and say hi to everyone, and obviously, mighty relieved with obviously the Forest 3 points, and then obviously. The derby match, because nobody saw it coming. I couldn't believe it. We got back to the room and we all expected a bit of a, I don't say a trouncing, but we just wanted to make sure that we turned up, didn't we? And did a little bit of justice to ourselves. And then when I saw 1-0, I went, I put my glasses on just to make sure I'd made a mistake. And then it went 2-0, didn't it? Or was it? Oh, no, it didn't go 2-0. Then he went, VAR got a penalty. I'm going, oh my God. Then it was ruled out. Could have gone either way. And then, but apparently they played absolutely fantastic.
The penalty was before. That was the 7th minute or something. That was before we'd even gone 1-0 up. But he was offside. I thought the ref. I don't know whether anybody on the post-match on Wednesday bigged up the ref, but I thought he was absolutely tremendous, Andy Madley.
Chad talked very highly about him.
He was brilliant.
Take over the match.
Yeah, I saw your comments and I looked at some of the footage. So it was like, absolutely spot on. So the pressure's off today. I just hope they do themselves, put on a great performance for all the fans of Goodison back. Three home games in a week, and we were talking, weren't we, on the pre-match was, these are like massive games if we can get X amount of points. But I think that they've surpassed that.
Yeah, I'm just really excited for Chimiti today. Just an opportunity to spread your wings. We support you. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
But
so boys, you enjoy your stream, and I'm just going to get ready now to go down and watch the match over there.
Enjoy being up.
Have a good
enjoy
one.
the beach.
I'll look after yourself,
Rob.
Yeah, catch you up. Bye, everyone.
Mate.
See you, buddy.
So that was the Robster live from Cannes.
That was
awesome. He ready to drink some cans?
He probably was. It's only 9 o'clock over here, so it's a little bit early.
Is he Rob still in the background?
Is he?
I think he was. I heard him
Okay.
having a little giggle. You're on here. You're on here 3 times. You're logged in like 4 times here, Chris.
Oh, those are little photo icons in the bottom there. So they're different.
Oh, right. Is that how you put them up, is it?
Yeah. So each one of those is basically a little power.
All right. Okay. See, that's why I'm not technical. But you know what? It goes to show you how poor. You just froze then. It goes to show you, right, how poor Luton are when Everton have been docked 8 points and Forest have been docked 4 points, yet they're still in the bottom 3. And they do play some nice football, right? But the whole bottom of the league this year, the bottom 3, has been terrible.
Yeah. Now, if we played another 4 to 5 matches in the Premier League season, I truly think Burnley jump over Forest and Luton stay exactly where they're at. The way Burnley have changed.
Chances are Forest are probably going to get a point back. So, but yeah, I think that Luton now losing that game today, they've got to win the last 3 games. We get a point today. They've got to win the last 3 games and score like 20 goals or something stupid. You know what I mean?
Right. And then it means, hey, we don't get a point. We have to get smashed by Arsenal. Very possible. We have to get smashed by by Luton. Yeah, unlikely.
And
smashed by Sheffield at home, and you're like, nah, mate, not going to happen. So, but anyway, I think we're in what a uniquely nice spot that it's something we haven't had for a few years. But hey, just that mediocrity of being top 14, top 15, top 16. We're getting back to just being able to relax at the end of the season, which is just wonderful.
Yeah, like I said, Chris, right? Luton, Forest, they'd be going, oh, Everton's got a game in hand on us. But certainly their fans would have been. But it's against Liverpool.
I thought that too. I didn't even count it. I just assumed
everybody did. Everybody thought this, and we all said that this is a free hit.
Yeah.
And they went there, and I'll be honest with you, I've never seen a centre forward bully Van Dijk like he did. Absolutely bullied him all over the pitch.
Yeah.
Couldn't win a header against him.
Yeah. And you know the funny thing, and I don't understand why they did this, but Trent Alexander-Arnold either marked DCL or Tarkovsky on set plays. Like, what are you doing?
No.
Because imagine Trent Alexander-Arnold actually trying to he's not a defender. Why would he be on DCL at the back post? Made it really easy for him.
He likes to pretend he's a defender, though.
Yeah, he's a Matty Cash wingback.
Yeah. But anyway, today's all about us securing our league status, top flight status for the 71st year on the trot. And nobody else has played more top flight football than Everton.
Because Arsenal,
and that's something to be proud of.
Yeah.
No,
it is.
Arsenal got relegated and got invited back into the league. People say Arsenal have spent the longest time in the top flight, but they haven't. They got relegated and got invited back into the league.
Yeah, so it's like, when on these streams, when I cut out for a second, it's like, you got good network. Boop, boop. Arsenal had one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I had this up just to talk about goals and where they expect to come from. Mopé has the most goals, same amount of goals as our top scorer, but Wes has played all season, and Burmo has been out for a bit. But was on a great vein of form until he got injured, and Tony came back with a bang and then just kind of fell flat again. But he is playing today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, didn't he say? Didn't Thomas Frank say now and said if he asked to play him, he would do.
Yeah.
But to be perfectly honest, I think since he's come back off his extended break, he hasn't been brilliant. He hasn't been. No. Like he's talking himself up about getting the move and all this, that, and the other. And you think, you haven't set the world on fire since you've come back. You know what I mean? So like there will be teams got to come in for him. You know what I mean? But I think he's not as fearsome as what everybody thinks he is. But saying that, he'll probably fucking score today, won't he? After me saying that.
Well, the other thing when it can kind of be a cop out when a player is playing poorly. It's all injury. But if someone was sort of dealing with a niggling injury and then they took him out and then they didn't want to risk bringing him back because it was kind of, it seems like it's just you can play through it, but what's the risk? It's really hard to tell how long that was, but I don't want to give, but also, as we're saying, a lot of players, and it's all about like streakiness and are you in form? Because DCL would probably be an excellent number 9 for Arsenal and be of that standard for a few weeks. And then it's like, get him out. And all these strikers are like that. Isak's now in amazing form, and I think scored at least 2 goals today. Wissa is actually doing excellent right now, but for a while there at the beginning of the season with they needed Mbeumo to generate goals. Then Mbeumo wasn't doing it, and then they really struggled. Tony came back, and then it's like, we don't need you, Tony. We'll find other ways.
Froze there, mate. Oh.
And now
you keep freezing there, mate. Yeah, you're all right now. You're back in the room.
Oh, it's like it's perfectly good internet, and then it just cuts out for a second sometimes. It's odd, but probably because it's a Saturday morning and everyone's on internet when they wake up.
Yeah,
and they're competing for the same.
But just going back to that, Alexander Isaac, right? It's a sad indictment of the Premier League rules that Newcastle might have to sell at least one of their best players to stay within the regulations, right? When they are clearly the most, got the most money out of any club in the world, and they're not allowed to go out and spend it. But saying that, they could do what Chelsea done, and they could sell themselves a pack of the Haribo Fantastics for like 90 billion or something to one of their sister companies, you know what I mean, and get themselves out of it that way.
Yeah. Well, this is where the profit and sustainability, there is merit to it. We don't want Saudi Arabia to buy the league.
No, of course we don't.
It's also great to watch a competitive squad too. I love seeing that. It's more sad for me about Villa that they have to sell Ollie Watkins than it is that Newcastle have to sell Isak, because it feels like they're not gonna. If you tell them no, they can only go so far. But Newcastle will become the next Man City if they do it correctly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that they should be able to go out and spend what they like, but this is the downfall, I think. I mean, you might say that it works, and you can't just go out and buy, but there must be a way around it where, say for instance, an owner comes in and he puts in, I don't know, £1 billion, right, and says like that's the club sustainable for X amount of years, right, and then they're allowed to spend like a certain amount over and above that, but they've got that money there as a sustainable amount, right? So it doesn't make sense to me that like that it looks like we're going to have to sell Onana or Brentford or one or the other, or maybe both,
yeah,
to stay within the rules, right? Because we haven't got a pot to piss in. And more than likely, either of them players are going to. Onan is being linked with Bayern Munich, I think. Brentford's being linked with Man United and stuff like that. So, some of these players are going to go to rivals in the league. You know what I mean? And it doesn't seem fair that you have to sell your best players to your rivals to stay within the rules, because they're only going to get better and you're going to get considerably worse over time.
And to that point, I think Spurs in particular have really benefited from this. It was Brennan Johnson and Richarlison and probably some other squad, but the two teams that were suffering from FFP or PNS laws and being right on the brink with us and Forest had to deal with giving away our players to the competitors for that reason of being right on the boundary. So what is it next? Alexander Isak comes in to play for Spurs as well. Ollie Watkins goes to Spurs because they have a big stadium that can afford it, and then they get discounts every time. So what I think maybe there's some rule of like, if the player's evaluation has dropped due to PNS, you can't trade within the Premier League. Maybe that's a way to look at it, and
possibly
maybe there's some rule they could do that. That way it's not just Spurs. They're within the rules, but
possibly that's a solution. You know what I mean? But at the same time, it doesn't make it fair that we have to sell, or anybody else has to sell the big players, because ultimately, like, the Premier League is meant to be the most competitive league and the best league in the world, right? Mm-hmm. Well, that it's only competitive for the top 6 or something.
Yeah, there's brackets, aren't there? Like, really, the bottom 12 to 13. Oh, this year in particular has been pretty poor at the bottom, and as I've said, we're really, of all years to get a points deduction, if we were going to get one, this was the year.
100%.
So, and next year we're going to have, I think, probably a better championship coming up. But the problem, as you're saying, is still the top 6 or 7. If you add Newcastle and Villa to that category, I think it's top 7 then. But outside of those guys, everyone else, we thought Brentford and Brighton were going to be those teams. They've been underwhelming. Chelsea have dropped down, and it's hilarious. So, but everyone else, like, we have the Crystal Palace, we have Wolves, Bournemouth have really earned the right to stay up there. Brentford, Brighton, us, maybe Forest if they stay up. And Fulham, we have quite a competitive, like, middle of the table now, and the bottom 3 / Forest have been quite poor all season. We haven't been great, but points wise, we should be up by like 40 points, right? So not a problem for us. It's more like next year. Now you get some good caliber squads back. We have Leicester officially back, but they'll be on negative points, which will be funny. Quite fascinating. We're saying they'll be on negative points to start.
Because of the way they've conducted themselves over all this, they could be getting something astronomical, by the way.
Right, because they didn't comply. So if they say that we didn't comply, what about them?
Yeah, but they'll appeal, and they'll get some points off. But they could literally get 12 points. You know what I mean? But Neil Michael's there, right? Neil. PSR rules are changing next year. Percentage of turnover. But this is the thing, right? This is what. That's still bad. There's still no level playing field for everybody with that percentage of your turnover, your revenue. Because if you've got a team at the top who's generating 750, 800 million pounds a season and they're in the Champions League, right? They're allowed to spend 70% of their revenue on the squad and wages and whatnot, right? Now, that's roughly around 500 and odd million pounds, right? And then you've got a little team, I don't say little, a little old Everton at the bottom who generate around about 180 million, who are not in Europe, allowed to spend 75% of their turnover, which works out at about 153 million, which is a massive difference between a 70% of 700 million, 535 million to 153 million.
Yeah, so they can spend almost 7 times what we can, for example.
Yeah, so there's still an imbalance.
Yeah. Well, Wes, when we can pay off the stadium, we can have Billy Joe Armstrong, the lead singer of Green Day, come and perform for a discounted rate and sing about, like, what we were talking about this on the chat yesterday. What did we say? we'll call it Blue Day instead of Green Day for
Yeah.
help Everton's profit and sustainability and start
Yeah.
have Dice there clapping.
Mr. Toffees has raised a point. We could start on minus points as well.
Yeah, we could.
With this this other thing that's hanging over us over the capitalization of the loan money, interest money or something on the loans. So yeah, we could start on the minus, but I think if we did get a points deduction next season, it'd only be maybe minus, like 2 or 3 maybe, and I think we'd be quite comfortable getting over that, wouldn't we? It's only one game, innit?
Yeah. Well, that's what when we're talking about the competitive of the league next year. I think a 2-point deduction next year might be if we play as well as we did this year, and we are notoriously not able to get points against the newly promoted squads. So if it wasn't for that, we could easily have been by the way we play this year, basically, if we did this next year with Leicester and 2 other teams about to come up, maybe the 2 points next year is actually more impactful than the 8 this year, the way it's turned out.
Yeah, but like you said, Leicester's probably going to get a massive points deduction. And we still don't know out of Leeds and Ipswich they're coming up. You know what I mean? So personally, myself, I'd like to see Ipswich come up.
Oh, I would love it. Someone different.
Yeah, because like I said, I'm old enough to remember the Ipswich team from the 80s, and they were good. They were really good. You know what I mean? But yeah, it will be a stronger league next year, no doubt. Because this year we've been fortunate, really, this year that the bottom of the league is being poor.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So,
well, it's helped everyone.
Hey,
it's helped everyone separate and get more points, really.
Yeah,
like
you say, with Luton moaning about Everton and Forest not getting enough points and this, that, and the other. They've directly benefited from us getting points in the first place. Otherwise,
they wouldn't be close.
Well, Forest would be what, 6 points clear of them.
Yeah,
and we'd be on 41 points and they're on 25, aren't they?
Yeah, so that's 16 points away. I was going to just go to the point there for me, and I think I've said this on a different live talk, Michael, but I would take a 2-point or 3-point deduction to keep Branthwaite. Honestly, I think he'll add more value to the team with clean sheets, even his financial resale value by him being with us until the Euros. I think you have to keep him because his value only goes up. And he's got more exposure after the Euros, and people will look to get him. So he's a commodity really worth us keeping. But he's scoring goals now. I did another, I went looked over did a video feed on him, basically knowing where to stand in the box to actually he's understanding where to be in the pitch. He's scoring goals now, and he's keeping clean sheets. And he's a young upcoming England player. Good build on him. Instincts are pretty good. Struggles to handle pacey players running at him, but he's even able to score goals from outside the box. He'll play in the Euros. His value is up, and we get a lot more out of him than losing 2 points.
Yeah, but if you notice as well now is that we're overloading the back post with the big tall fellas. You know what I mean? Every time we put a ball in the box, we're overloading that back post, and then obviously you had the Ben Godfrey, who was it Ben Godfrey who blocked Van Dijk?
Oh, it was DCL.
Goal? Was it DCL? Was it?
Yeah. So the whole idea there was DCL was in an offside position, and then there was 2 players running to the front post. So they thought DCL was kind of the fake. So then they all went to the front post and gave space at the back post. But you have to go to the front post just enough to make it work.
Yeah, I'm Peter Duggan was that when me and Chad done the pre-match for the derby.
Yeah.
Peter Duggan was saying we shite at set pieces and all this, that, and the other, and then we go and stick one in from the set piece.
Yeah. Well, we are shite at set pieces when the set piece taker doesn't put the ball on the right spot. And you know what? Credit to Dwight McNeil. All of a sudden, he's back in excellent form. He got that goal against Forest, and his crosses were outstanding, especially from set play. Or the entire match yesterday. So, and I know you probably watched the press conference on it, talking about him maybe being on the edge, but not really a starting lineup player for the England squad. And I think if you wanted a James Ward-Prowse-esque left footer just to come in for set plays, you'd only have him for that if he was truly consistent. He's not good enough in the field to be an England player. It's just simply the left foot delivery, because I know. That's
the manager blowing smoke up his ass, and
you know what, that helps. That helps the confidence.
Fair enough for him doing that, but I mean, he's a million miles off an England call up. You know what I mean? But like the last few games, can't fault the lad. You know what I mean? Like regardless of what his situation, his private life's been going on, he's pulled his socks up and he's run his absolute legs off every single game, and you can't fault him for his commitments. And you know, he had some flack, and like most of them when we went on that terrible run. But what you can't fault from him is that when the chips have been down, he's run and he's run and he's run and he's run. You know what I mean?
Sometimes I think he just needed a break because you could tell he was burning out on the field, because he's all about, what is it, a maximum effort, minimum expectation type of deal. It's a perfect dice player in that respect. But did he have the quality the entire time? No, but that's the thing. When we're getting that back with Gomez as well. When we have these players that can make excellent deliveries into the box, Everton set plays, which is the way we score goals. We very seldom score from open play. We're actually a menace, but we have to have a good delivery to do it. And McNeil's back in form.
Yeah, that's it. Like he has been putting it on a sixpence, and when he's been putting the crosses in. Can't fault the lads. I think he's been superb these last few games. Not the best before that, but none of them have. So can't just single him out for being.
There was a lot more than him.
Yeah, definitely.
The central midfield as well. Yeah.
So where do you think that we can hurt these today, mate? So we know they've got the pace and they've got the strength up front. Where do you think that they're going to hurt us today?
So I think Brian Mbeumo is going to cause us a whole load of hurt on that right side. Yeah. And I don't know about Ivan Toney, but they're quite direct as well. So I think it's very much if Everton have a silly turnover and they have Wissa and Mbeumo playing high, we could be in trouble on a counter-attack. Wissa's shooting from outside the box as well. So if we're letting people have some space and Ghana Gay isn't on top of it, I think basically Wissa and Mbeumo are going to be their best chances. Yeah.
So they do play some nice football when they get going. And say they're quite Tony's an handful, you know what I mean? But I hope they don't just like sort of focus on him as the main threat, because you got players either side that are massive threats, and Michael James hit the nail on the head here. They're going to target Ashley Young, but I just hope that this is an hangover game from the derby. Do you know what I mean? Because we know now that we get a point today, minimum, and that's us safe. Like, unless we get absolutely slaughtered and in the next 3 games, and Luton start scoring bags and bags full of goals, then that's us safe for another season.
Right. So I was trying to go back to this one. I think what I'm worried about today is that we probably won't win, almost because our players are worn out, but we have the momentum. But the reality is we can't live in our own blue tinted glasses world. Brentford have started to look quite good as well. So it depends if they're on the beach or not, but they're in quite good form. So
Yeah.
And we have some players on the bench. We have like two options. Really, you can bring in Michael Keane in an emergency. You can bring Dan Juma on, but he hasn't played anything. And then Onana and Gomez in the middle. So if we need goals from up front, from either Decore or Chimiti, I don't think we have many options other than maybe Dan Juma. So we're pretty stretched then, is all I'm really saying. And hopefully the hangover, as you said, isn't a problem. Another player to pay attention to is Reguilon. So Christopher Ayer is not a fullback, as I was mentioning. So he'll just kind of be up there, but kind of awkwardly not know how to advance the ball.
Dangerous,
a bit like a Godfrey.
Danger at set pieces, though. In fact, all their defenders are all, apart from Reguilon, all their defenders are big lads, and we're going to have to fight to win headers in that box at set pieces. You know what I mean? Because they're all Ayer and Nathan Collins and Ethan Peacock or Pinnock. Ethan Pinnock. They're all big lads. You know what I mean? And obviously you're Ivan Toney as well. But the midfield to me are not that strong. Yeah,
and they're very workmanlike, and they have what's his name? Damsgaard is one on the bench for them. He can strike a ball from outside the box, but Matthias Jensen and Nørgaard are like they're workmen. I'd say they're a little bit classier on the ball than our players, but they're not that much of a goal threat either.
No. But they say the crowd will be up for it tonight, but in a different way. It's like I said the other day, it was nice. It was nice to see the fans celebrating something on Wednesday. That was a celebration rather than a relief. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it was not a Bournemouth end of the match week 38 at Goodison. It was
like I said, the last time I can remember actually being something where the fans actually celebrated because we'd done something good. For me personally, was when the atmosphere and the way the roof came off and stuff like that was when Wayne Rooney scored the goal against Arsenal his first ever goal for Everton, and that was the kind of atmosphere that I experienced the last time. And since then it's all been like doom and gloom. If anybody else that's on here can tell me when the atmosphere has been as good as that when it was on Wednesday, then I'll hold my hands up and go fair dues.
Yeah, and because I've only been to 2 matches. It was, I think I've mentioned that to you. It was when Everton won 7-1 against Roy Keane's Sunderland back in like the 2007, 2008 season. And I get my years mixed up on it, but it was either 2011 or 2012 when Nikica Jelavic was scoring for fun. I think I was in the, not main stand, but in the like lower Bullens, I think, watching, and saw them score. I think it was like 3-0 drubbing or something. So a couple matches like that were not having the atmosphere of matches you're talking about. I would think maybe the Crystal Palace one, but that was more relief.
Yeah, they're saying that's a relief.
Maybe against Arsenal 1-0, because that was when Dyche first came in. It may have a similar kind of energy. Yeah,
but like I say, the atmosphere for me on Wednesday, like, far exceeded anything that's come before. And like I said, the only thing I can sort of put it into perspective was when Rooney scored that goal against Arsenal. Because I was there at the ground then when that happened.
Oh, that's amazing.
And the roof just came off.
Introducing 16-year-old Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, unbelievable. Well, I think we should wrap it up because the match is kicking off in 5 minutes.
Yeah, you know what we'll hear real soon? Let me get my little sound effect. You ready, Wes?
Oh, here we go.
Let's see if it loads.
Where's the siren? Come on, you Blues! It's the Blue Sky going for 1-0. So yeah, shall we quickly do score predictions then? Quickly.
1-1.
1-1. I'm going for 2-0.
Awesome. else. So, shall we call it here, Wes? And thanks for everyone again for joining along. I'm not doing a watch along today, but we will have Steve and potentially someone else on the post match. Hopefully, after we secure victory to safety until next season. So,
yeah,
up the toffees.
Up the fucking softies.